All right, Alex here. This is another episode of Great Habits for Great Men, and we're talking about resistance, resisting life, and the habit of not resisting the things that stir you up and cause you to be reactive, the things that come to you through that endless torrent, that endless hamster wheel, that endless cycle that life delivers for us every single day. Not too long ago, I had an event that I had to go to that was coming up, a social event, and I remember spending more than a week riling myself up, feeling the anxiety of going to a social event that I didn't want to go to with people I didn't really want to talk to in advance. I caused an enormous amount of stress and unnecessary pain and debilitating pressure that didn't need to be there. And when I went finally to the event, I realized that it wasn't all that bad. In fact, I enjoyed it. I met some great people and I came away thinking, what was all that fuss about? The fuss was in the resistance to the reality. The problem here was that it wasn't the social event itself that made my life difficult. It was the resistance that I created. It was the barrier that I put up for myself that made my life seemingly and very tangibly more difficult. And you've probably had many events in your own life where you have wound yourself up worrying about something and you have caused yourself an unnecessary amount of stress in the run-up to an event that turned out not to be that bad. And even if it was bad, it was probably a good thing because it challenged you. This is a great habit for any man, any human, to absorb into their life and treat as a way of practicing, of something to practice. It's not going to be easy, as with all of these habits. Seeing something that comes up that you don't like, or meeting someone you don't like, or having something in your life come up that just stresses you out and annoys you or frustrates you, these are fantastic opportunities to not resist, to go with the flow, to allow those things to be there and simply to let them be as they are without resisting, without tightening up, without seizing up, without making life so bloody difficult for yourself. What's the point? There is no point. Life is always going to have its darknesses and its struggles and its challenges and its hurdles. The guy with the untrained habit of not resisting is going to find life 100 times more challenging and more stressful and more annoying. And you see these guys, it's often a homeless guy running around the street who's sort of talking to himself and shouting to everything that goes by. He's like the epitome of the far end of that spectrum of how bad it can get when you resist everything. The alcoholic homeless nutbag who shouts at every little noise and thing that he walks past, and he's talking to the air. You don't want to be that guy, and you don't want to be the guy even at the early stages of that form of madness. It's a form of madness. It's irrational. Reacting negatively to the world around you, no matter how bad it is, reacting rather than creating, is a form of madness. And doing it over and over again is insanity, as we all know, thanks to, I think it was Einstein who said that. So develop the skill. If you want to live a very, very fulfilled life and you want to find a new sense of calm and well-being and mental health, commit to the habit of not resisting. Just remember that life isn't hard. It doesn't need to be hard at all. Life can be very smooth and very easygoing when you reduce your reaction, reduce the intensity of the emotion to things that come in your way. And yes, there are tragedies. Yes, there are things that are genuinely hard, like being eaten alive by a bear. That kind of stuff does suck, for sure. But for the most part, for the average Joe and for you guys, life will throw up all kinds of struggles and seeming stresses that we have the opportunity to either deny and resist and cause our own problems through it, or allow to happen, allow to be there. And if one of these things is something we can't avoid, then we need to take the courage to face it head on and see it in a different light, in a light that goes beyond seeing it as some kind of chore or an obstacle. See your challenges as means to improve, as means to stretch, and see them as opportunities to not resist and in doing so win. There's no greater source to self-growth then coming up with a challenge that you don't like the look of, relaxing, dropping your shoulders and saying, let's do this, and not resisting it, letting it pass through you and just stepping up to the plate, doing what you need to do, and finding a way of enjoying even that moment of coming face to face with those things you don't like. Pain and darkness and frustration and all the horrible things in life are always going to be there. Without pain, without darkness, there is no good stuff. There is no light. So really absorb that idea as you go onward on your journey. And rather than feeding that pain and that darkness and reacting to it and butting up against it and having it dictate your life, let it fall aside. Know that it's there. Accept it. Accept the shit in life. Relax. Let it fall aside, knowing that it's always going to be there. Darkness will always be there. And find yourself living a much more chill life. And you'll be able to replace all that time that you would have lost through stewing and stressing with much more pleasant activities and more productive activities. Doing this is one of the most powerful things you can do. Training that habit of not resisting, going with the flow, seeing the positives in things, not butting up against your obstacles, but rather going with the flow and seeing them as a positive in your life. Hope that helped, guys. That's today's great habit for great men. I hope you're building those habits as we continue on this series. If you've got any suggestions or questions, do leave them in a comment below. Smash the like button. And do make sure that you're subscribed and all that other good stuff to my newsletter as well. alexmathers.net is where you'll find a lot of bonus secret material, especially if you want to learn more about mental health, self-confidence, building your own business, building a coaching business. That's all going to be there for you over here, but also bonus material on the newsletter as well. So see you tomorrow.